Good day, viewers. It's I, NitroSilverNigel, or NitroSilverNigel, whatever you call me, it's all good. And we're here once more with a podcast from the new year with our new guests. Now, before we start, we must remember this is a podcast in the new year, so we got some new formulas. So everyone, please introduce themselves, please.
Hello, I'm Zara from ZarraProductions. Sorry, that was all I had.
Okay. Abakan?
So hello, I'm Abakan, so nothing much to say.
Well, you are from Germany, so that's something.
Yeah, I'm from Germany, so I think I'm the only European in this podcast at the moment.
Okay. And our talented...
And
Oh, sorry. You go.
that's right. I am the Silver Quill. After the fact, I am in America, which makes me rather boring at the moment. And it's good, but it's good to be here and good to meet all of you.
I'm in America too.
Well, we're all 3/4 of us are Americans.
Which means that Abakan is the most interesting, because one, he's probably up at the middle of the night. Sorry about that.
It's like 7 p.m., so it's fine.
It's the middle of the night for toddlers? I don't know. I'm trying to give you a compliment here.
Jesus, man. Okay, guys, let's get started with our podcast. We must remember to do this in the correct political manner, even though it may be a political year for the presidential campaign. So let's get started with our first question. And our first question is, let me say the topic that is. Our first topic is the Bronyisms. And our first question, our Brony topic is, what is your biggest love for an MLP fandom? What is your biggest love for MLP?
Alright, and I'll go first. So, just for reference sake, I am 21 years old. And my first memories are of playing with the old My Little Pony toys. And so I've definitely had My Little Pony close to my heart most, if not all of my. And I was really excited to get back into it about 7 to 8 years.
You're breaking up right there. Can you please repeat that?
Which part?
Well, the last part.
I got back into the series like 6 or 7 years ago about. And I really can't see myself leaving it again. I love the community, I love the show, and I just love My Little Pony.
So yeah, then I'm gonna follow up on that. So I basically, how I ended up in this whole fandom was kind of just a joke with a friend that we watched the series, but then I started to enjoy it, and that's how I kind of got into role play and such things, and that's how I kind of ended up in the Brony fandom. And my biggest love for MLP and the series always was that I loved the characters and the world they were in, and I always liked watching the show and following the characters' progression in their own story, and watching them explore the world and have adventures. So that was kind of the thing that I loved, and the community also is a big part for me. Meeting new people and experience new stories and listening to new stories. So that's kind of my story for the whole, what's my love of MLP and how I got into it.
Excellent. Although, what do you mean, you people? What? Let's see. I'm older than dirt, so I remember G1, and it was something I saw sort of tangentially. It was, Transformers and Silverhawks and Thundercats and Mask and G.I. Joe were all on. But I remembered it. But I remember it, and I still remember the Smooth song. Wow. Oh, curses. Pardon me 1 second as I silence this intruder.
Intruder.
But here's the thing. I found out about My Little Pony through word of mouth, mostly through comedy sites like Rooster Teeth and Red vs. Blue or Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. They'd make these references. I was like, wait, there's another show? They did. And then CR of then channel, that guy with the glasses, he did a retrospective and talked about the first season. So I thought I'd give it a shot. And I enjoyed it. I was consistently entertained, but what really sold me, and my biggest love of Friendship is Magic, is the creativity within the community. Every episode sparked this tidal wave of art, music, animations, comedy, you name it. And that has continued even after the show's finale.
It's really something else.
I like that about the Brony fandom.
yes.
We never give up, even when they
Exactly.
tell us to.
And nobody tells us what to do.
No one tells us. We do our own thing. We're bronies.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Well, for my answer, I like this fact that the show was so long that it take little season to complete it, and that the music was always on point. Thank you, Daniel Ingram, for your music choices, including the movies. But my biggest love has to be that the show had a feeling that you could never. I mean, the show had a feeling that you wanted more. Like what Silver said about the fandom always creating new content. But when the show created new content, it always left you feeling that there could be more that I want from this. Like, that's how I felt about Crush Your Girls when it first came out. When it first came out, people were like, oh no. Bronies was like, oh no, we're going to have humans in our pony show. I was like, this could work though. And it did.
Yeah.
It did for half the fandom. It did not work for the other half. But I was in the fandom that say I don't care. As long as we got ponies, I'm happy.
Right, like, I just want the content and the characters. I don't care what they look like.
Yeah. They have hands for all I care. That's why one of my favorite episodes of Pinky, Too Many Pinkies, when Pinky make herself roll fingers out of her hooves. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, that's a nice moment.
It's good.
That is a genetic mutation. You should get that checked out.
4 fingers and 1 thumb. Okay, but yeah, that was my biggest love for MLP. That always left you having the feeling that you wanted more of the content. That you can never just give up on. You can never. It's like that old Lay's commercial. You can never just have one chip. And that's how I felt with the Brony about MLP and its wholeness. That you can never just leave it on one thing. You always gotta have more of it until it engrosses to the point where you can never leave it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's like the Hotel California. You can check out whenever you want, but you can never leave.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the Hotel California. It's a lovely place. A lovely place. I can't sing it. But anyway, next question. What's your biggest gripe with MLP?
My biggest gripe is probably the theme song. Because
Really?
while because I've been rewatching the entire show with my boyfriend, and it makes me happy to see the show again and go through it and be like, wow, I forgot kind of how down to earth the show was, and you get into it. Think that there was serious moments, there was breakthroughs that are super emotional, and then silence, and then My Little Pony, and it was just really, I don't know, just juvenile and babyish. I get that the show was originally for little girls, but not anymore. I feel like I would have enjoyed a lot more if they updated the theme song. It was a little of an off-putter for newcomers who would give the show a chance, and then they would watch it and be like, oh, okay, I can get behind this. And the theme song would play, and they'd be like, you know what? Nah. So that's my biggest gripe.
So yeah, for me, the biggest gripe of MLP wasn't really the show itself. It was more the idea of altering the world, making your own stories inside of it. The Equestrian universe is a great template for all kinds of adventures and stories, and it not only gives you the ability to explore its world through the show or by user-created fiction, but also by your own ideas, and that's a pretty big gripe for me.
It's fair.
My gripe would be that, especially in the later seasons, the main six's responsibilities and sphere of influence continually expanded. And yet sometimes it feels like there was too harsh a regression in the characters. That suddenly they were still struggling with a season 1 flaw when there's been a lot of growth. And every now and again, you'd see that reset button hit.
Especially with Fluttershy.
Well, okay, Fluttershy I'm a little bit more forgiving towards because she had a very, very strong hurdle to clear. And you don't do that in one sitting.
No.
But I think the standout episode to show of when you need to let an old idea go was non-compete clause, where Applejack and Rainbow Dash were feuding or rivals while trying to teach the students.
Yes.
That worked well in season 1 Fall Weather Friends, but now they're not only doing a bad job as teachers, they actually endanger the lives of their students.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I really can't get on board with this. I really can't laugh at this because you're killing Yona. Stop killing Yona.
The funny thing is, if you watch a total legit recap of the series, there's an arc where Yona accepts that she's death road.
Jesus.
And I believe in another, what was it? Yeah. Oh, dang it. What's the dance episode where Yona wants to be more pony-like?
Oh, that was a nice episode.
But what was the title of it?
I can't remember it. I gotta look it up.
It wasn't a play on prom. She's All Yak, yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
She's All Yak. I did see the totally legit recap where Yona is basically just existential doom.
Yeah, that's so sad. But like, she's actually one of my favorite characters of the younger 6. She was like the only one who actually had character growth from beginning to end. Besides the others, I mean, the other ones had some character growth, but she actually had the most minimalist needed changes.
Yeah, she was already a pretty solid character.
Yeah, minimalist changes for her. Oh, is it my go?
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought you were still going silver, so that's why I was silent. But I can say what I need to say. The only gripe I have with the MLP and pretty much the fandom itself is they didn't get really nitpicky with certain stuff, like over the overuse of the Twi-Cane. I understand that when it first came out, the creators of the show thought that the drink was gonna be the meme, so they kept using a drink. But for some reason, when that episode aired, everyone chose to flock to the Twi-Cane. And I remember when I was on BronyNet, literally 3 hours after the episode aired, there was a source filmmaker model of the Twi-Cane, and someone sent it to me on an email, and I'm like, I can't even use it. I don't have source filmmaker anymore. But it was so weird how everyone chose one thing to flock over for the fandom for the longest time, and they brought it back in episode 100 for, when they brought the Twi-Cane back. And I'm like, it was just a meme. Why do we keep bringing it up dead memes?
Right. So I feel you.
That's the only gripe I have besides fan fiction. Some of the fan fiction still need to be made.
Well, truthfully, I don't know what you mean.
You know?
Oh my
well,
God.
I can't.
Oh.
It's just, I'm just being mean-spirited.
It's okay. I understand. But yeah, I do like the Twi-Cane meme. But when you have people making, models off of the same model over and over again, to the point where even people who don't know the show knows the meme, something is like pretty pushing it that case.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I don't watch Harry Potter franchise, because I saw a Batman meme talking about is Leviosa. I know the meme before I saw the movie, and that will ruin the movie for me.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else got anything before the next question?
Nope.
No.
Okay, last question, burning topic is this. Do you believe in shipping of the ponies or not?
Well, of course I do. I was always curious about why we as consumers felt the need to ship characters and why we feel the need to do it. But I think it's okay. It is in fact normal. I've seen countless fandoms rip themselves apart over fighting over ships.
Like Digimon?
Yeah, and it's just dumb. There's no reason. Unless it's a not okay ship, like an adult and a child, or just something gross and weird. why should it matter if someone ships somebody else, even if it's not?
Well, you said I didn't hear the last part of that.
I've seen fandoms like just rip each other apart because they're like, well, that ship's not canon, so stop doing it. And fake, they're not real characters. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, in any game, it doesn't matter. Anyone
My
else?
turn?
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, as far as I understand the question, shipping is not a big problem for me. So that's basically everything I had to say to that. Don't really have that big of an opinion on that.
Side question though, who's your favorite ship?
Oh, that's a good question.
I
think
don't really know.
It's probably Glimmer and
Who was that last pony?
Trixie.
Oh, okay, that's just it. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I don't really have an favorite ship.
Okay, so next guy. Okay.
Right, so do I ship ponies? Of course I ship ponies. I ship all the ponies. I am a FedEx shipping center here. I'm shipping so many ponies. I will continue to ship ponies, and I will continue to make the inappropriate sound effects. I mean, what can I say? I mean, you got a pair of ponies. One sees the others, and suddenly...
Oh my god.
And the shipping intensifies, and it is glorious. And I keep doing it. But toning it down for just half a sec. This is something that's talked about in the online world, including an article on the Huffington Post by psychologist Darren DeFife.
Really?
Jesus, really?
Who said the vast majority of people who are engaging in this are doing so in an affirmative, positive, socially engaging, feeling really connected with other people way. There's always this move to pathologize this process. I don't think it's pathological one at all. I think it's really normal. I think that what it says about you is that you care about connections and relationships to others, as we all do.
Yes.
So to engage in this is inherently normal. Now, I would add to that, to not engage in it is also inherently normal. You are not a misanthrope or a sociopath or any other pathological sign if you're just not into shipping. However, you are going to have to put up with my shipping because I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay. That's a silly. Well, for my answer is I really like only the canon shipping. Like, when it comes to fan shipping, I really don't really mind those, but there's some I just can't get behind. Like the Lyra and Bonbon ship, the famous ship of all of MLP.
Really?
I can't get behind that.
Really?
No, I can't.
Why?
I see them only as friends, and that's how the show portrayed him as me.
Okay, but like, did you see them in the movie, or like the first Equestria Girls, and they're playing the piano?
Yes.
Like, you can't tell me. You can't tell me.
I saw that scene and thought like they're very close friends.
You can't just look at that and be like, yeah, they're good friends. Like, nah, did you see the way they looked at each other?
Oh, come on.
The ship, bruh.
Real friends bump tushes together all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's true.
But my favorite ship of all time is the Big Mac ship, man. Shoot, I forgot her name. I have, the one that, huh?
Marble?
No, not Marble Pie. The other one, the one he married.
Oh, Sugar Bell.
Yeah, Sugar Bell. Yeah, Big Mac and Sugar Bell was my favorite ship. Because the moment I saw them, I'm like, did they actually end up together? And they actually did end up together.
They're like, yeah.
That was my happiest moment. I actually went outside and lit a firework when I saw that episode.
It's happening, boys.
Shit.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, then I have to ask, how did you react to the wedding episode then?
I was like really, when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. They're not going to show the whole way that they're going to do Discord episode? It was so weird, but like, at the same time it worked. Because Discord, Spike, and Big Mac are actual friends. They actually do D&D together. Well, in their world, they play D&D together. Huh?
I really liked their 3 friendship deal.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It's weird, and you would think it wouldn't work, but they totally all work.
And that whole episode, I was like, how does the episode work? But in the end, when I saw the wedding with the family tree, I was like, yeah, I can see how that. I like this. This
Yeah.
episode was kind of crazy, but I still liked it.
Yeah. That's one thing My Little Pony's really good at, is like,
The
they
fi-
start off like, I don't know if this is gonna work out, and then by the end of it, you're like, wow, that holds together real nice.
It's like a cake.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to move to the next topic, or do we have anything to say?
Yeah, we can move on.
Anyone else?
Hmm.
I'm good.
Okay, next topic. New year, new decade. First question. What is your resolution? What is your resolution into this new year?
Jeezums. You know, say resolution as every year, you know, be more productive. So the difference between past years and this year's is that I am actually taking the steps. I've always been the type of person to make the plan to do things but never do them. But this year I'm definitely doing more of the things. And
Okay.
I'm trying to work more on myself. Just for like self-care and all that jazz. A new phrase that I'm trying to implement in my life is breathe, listen, learn, enjoy.
Nice.
And those things are helping me kind of, any situation that's really hard, I just keep repeating those, and it gets.
Okay. Abakan?
My turn.
Yeah.
So I don't really have New Year's resolutions. I have like the rule to not make New Year's resolution. If I really want to change something, I don't really need a new year to do so. I mean, many times the solution I made a few years back at New Year's never really worked out or had long. So if I really wanted to change something, I'll just do it. I don't make resolutions.
I see. Okay.
Well, I will say that I have been keeping my one true resolution, which is to not make resolutions. Wait, that's inherent paradox. Oh no, I fail.
Oh boy.
Well, my 2020 is off to a terrible start. I broke my one resolution. I had one job. Well, actually, I was talking with a friend before the new year, and I talked about just letting go. Actually, I guess this deserves some how to put this, some explanation.
Okay.
One of my friends lost his grandma last year, and we were having a party, and he was coming over. And truth be told, 2019 featured a lot of events that were very difficult for a lot of my friends. So I put together a simple design for a sign, got it printed, quick foam board job, which said, goodbye 2019 and you.
I love it.
And I told my friend about this, and he cautioned, we're still going to be the same people on January 1st, 2020.
Yes.
It's hard to paraphrase. He spoke this far more eloquently than I can recall. Basically, if you keep making yourself a victim to the year, to consign yourself to fate, you're always going to be blaming the set and expecting the next one to treat you better.
Mm-hmm.
When really it's more about acknowledging that you're in the thick of it, their stuff is going to go bad, and you keep moving forward, that you are in control of your own life. It's not the year that's dictating where you are. You have the ability to affect that and enact change. And in a funny way, resolutions are an encouragement towards that, but they're phrased within the context of the year. So again, there's a paradox. Like my resolution to not keep resolutions. Oh, the failure.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, for me, it's sort of simple. It's just two things I want to do, and it doesn't actually go to this year. It actually goes to this whole decade in total. I didn't make a year. I don't make yearly resolutions anymore because last time I made one, I failed it terribly, and I don't even want to talk about that. But here's my 2 resolutions I want to do for this decade. 1, to lose weight, because when your belly can do this, you have a problem. And 2 is to get to 1,000 subs. I don't care how long it takes. We're already halfway there. We got 522 subs. But if I get to 1,000 before the end of this year, I'm going to be happy. But I know this is going to be...
I feel it.
Huh?
I feel like we can do it.
Yeah. We just got to get more content out there, more videos, more subscribers, and people to watch our videos. But I'm not really making any more...
Business.
Yes. But really, I'm not... the only other thing I want to say is probably get monetization back on the YouTube channel. So that way we can actually make more money than what we do. Because really, this YouTube channel, I'm paying out of pocket for the channel. We make more money.
Did it get demonetized?
We never was monetized.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know how any of this works.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Pretty much, you gotta get to like 1,000 or so subs before you get monetized. So that's why we got a Patreon. But as you see, we only got 1 patron. But he's so nice. He's a nice guy. He should be on this podcast today. But anyway, other than that, we gotta work on that, and hopefully by end of this year, we can have somebody I can pay the artist besides paying out of pocket. Because I like paying the artists. I don't want them to say like, oh, we're only doing this for exposure, so we don't have to give our best work. No, I want the artists to know they're getting paid for their work, and they should give their best at their work. Because as we seen on Twitter on last week, the moment I the moment I uploaded the video of me to CC with Silver Quill on it, we had like 2 people who messaged me saying, where can I get in contact with the artist for my stuff? And I sent them to the right person, which are Archery Weaver. I don't know if they have gotten in contact with her, but I did give her DeviantArt to them.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah. I think one of them even, I think Silver saw one of the comments saying, I told him like, yeah, it's Archery Weaver.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's what I want for artists, so they know they're getting paid, the musicians are getting paid, everyone's getting paid who works on this series, because I don't want people working for exposure. Because when I was working for exposure, it sucked. I hated it. It was terrible. Can I pay my bills? Had to eventually go somewhere else and do something else. But
it's just not a fun time for anyone involved.
No. So that's why I paid my people, even if I got to pay out of pocket for them to get their money. Even if it was expensive. I mean, some of those artists are so crazy with the prices, but I still respect them.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, next question. What are your thoughts on the World War III memes on Twitter, even though now they're gone?
Yeah, I was gonna say, luckily that I've seen, they died pretty fast.
Yeah, now they're on the Dolly Parton meme.
God. But my opinion on memes really varies, and most people hate my opinion on memes, but like, I just feel like the World War III ones were just dumb. Like, there was 0 point. Like, most of them weren't funny. I feel like for a meme, at least for me, to be funny, it needs to be clever. It can't just be like, meme, and then a million chairs.
Quote a meme I saw on the Circle Tunes channel, like, me and the boys at 3 a.m. getting beans.
Right? Like, what?
Oh, sorry, it's a meme on the Circle Tunes channel. He's an animator. He made a progression of meme video. Like back in 2012, all you needed was a pinwheel picture, a simple icon, and a word to say something like that. And now these days, memes gotta be more creative in order to succeed.
Yeah. It's true though. Like, I saw a meme the other day that was like a bunch of people like next to each other staring down at something. It's like, oh, my girlfriend, her mom, and the lady who runs a Chinese restaurant watching me eat orange chicken and swimming naked with kois. Okay? Like, how is this a meme? This is dumb.
That's confusing.
This doesn't make any sense.
Memes don't have to make sense.
Yes, they do.
And yet I can hear someone listening to this say, go on.
I mean, I keep your name wrong. Abakan. It's Abakan, not Abakan.
Abakan.
Yeah, okay, Abakan. Okay, let's do it.
Just
Okay,
repeat yourself.
so-
If Abba can, you can too.
Aw.
Oh my god. So yeah, the World War III memes. A few are kind of good, but most of them are not very good, not very smart in any way. And in my opinion, that people took really that whole Iran thing a bit too serious, thinking that really World War III gonna start because a few things happened in the Middle East that happened the same a few years ago. So I think me as an European should be a lot more afraid about World War III than Americans.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot more to worry about than us.
Well, if anything happens in the Middle East, we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Or with a big part. I mean, it happened in Syria. We have like 2 million refugees in our country.
Silver?
Well, I confess that I didn't see a lot of the World War III memes. I guess on my social media circles, I just don't frequent those. Also, I will say, Abakan, now because you use taking too seriously, you now owe Josh Scorcher a quarter. We're very particular. Now, I will disagree on that. Okay, how do I put this? It's not like I'm trying to have a competition for who has it worse. Truth be told, we're all struggling right now in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But what happens in one part of the world can have far-reaching impact. 9/11 encompassed that. And so distance is no protection anymore, I think. We have to be aware of what's happening to other parts of the world, as it can very, very quickly become a very dangerous problem here in our own homes. So dismissing someone based on geography, not a wise policy, in my opinion. However, fear is not a useful tool. Fear makes you quick to jump to conclusions, makes you quick to make bad decisions. Case in point, what I did catch online was people saying they're gonna reinitiate the draft. Look out, your kids are going to be sent to Iran. The draft is coming. So much so that the Department of, I believe the government had to issue a statement saying, no, we're not reinstating the draft. It would take.
Did they really do that?
Yeah, they had to.
They had to release a thing to be like, guys, stop.
On social
that's
media.
true.
Let's see.
It was true. I was there when they mentioned that.
Wow.
Let me see here. Quick, Google, help me find this.
And while you're doing that,
government-
I'll explain my answer. Is that okay, Silver?
It will, but I'd like to come back to a more preferred meme.
Oh, okay. I just wait then. I'll wait then.
Well, no, I've still got to find this. So go ahead.
Okay, that's good. Well, I just know one thing about this, that about the draft is all silliness. But my thoughts about the World War III memes are not something to kid with, because World War III has been hyped up in media and in science and history, saying that once World War III happens, it's the end of all humanity. And they said, I forgot who said it, but they said, I don't know what World War III is going to be fought with, but I know World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones.
Wow.
And that's what scared me, because I'm like, if World War III happens, I'm in a bunker. I'm like, forget you guys, I'm in a bunker.
Right,
If
like,
World War
nah,
III
I'm
happens-
out.
In fact, that's my
Look
biggest...
how far weapons have gotten since World War II.
Yeah. And
I mean-
that's why I'm like, that's why I'm so scared about World War III, because it can happen anytime. It can be
Yeah,
for the
like, no,
silliest
me-
reasons.
Yeah, memes
I mean,
are memes, but like it was kind of scary. Like if World War III actually happened, it would be devastating.
Yeah.
It's gonna be quick and deadly. That's for sure.
I found a news article, CNN Politics. This was the Selective Service System, which would oversee the draft. Their website crashed as people were checking to see if the draft really had been reinstated.
Jeez.
And this was dated January 3rd. So we were only about 3 days into the
New Year.
And here's their official statement from their Twitter at SSS_gov. Due to spread of misinformation, our website is experiencing high traffic volumes at this time. If you are attempting to register or verify registration, please check back today as we are working to resolve this issue. We appreciate your patience. The selective service system is conducting business as usual. In the event of a national emergency, in the event that a national emergency necessitates a draft, Congress and the president would have to pass official legislation to authorize a draft. And you can bet there will be people fighting them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, but on the topic of memes, because now it's legitimate to be very afraid of war, and again to never dismiss something as just happening in the far isolated ends of the earth. But there is another meme going on in 2020 that I'd like to praise, and that meme was the new guy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Have you all seen the new guy?
I barely saw it, but I do know of it.
Wait, what meme?
New guy.
Let me look it up.
New guy. The first meme of 2020 and arguably the best meme.
I don't remember exactly what it was about. I saw more edits before I saw like the actual one.
Oh, I've
Well,
seen this meme before.
It's understandable. It's the original, the trigger for this series of events was but a single comic. It has now grown into something much bigger.
This is
So, okay.
No, you can use my stuff.
Nitro, if you really need to clear your sinuses, I hope could you mute and use a tissue?
I'm sorry. It just said right now it's cold outside and it's warm in my apartment. And my body don't know whether to be cold or be hot.
It's hard to have a conversation with that keeps happening.
I'm sorry. I can try to mute the. Let me get the mute button. Here it is.
There we go. Well, okay. Here's the story. An artist put together a comic where I don't know if this was based on a real life event, but her character, this purple-haired woman, is at her job, and a new guy is there. It's this tall, stocky fellow, bald hair. He's meant to look a little on the dim side. And she's having a laugh that PewDiePie's wife got robbed. And the new guy says, "Oh, that's not right. How would you feel if you got robbed?" The lady responds that, "Oh, gee, I can see that we're going to be really good friends and I'm going to enjoy being around you." It's like, "Wow, really?" She goes, "Heck no." And that's meant to be the punchline. Now, the internet did not respond, I think, the way the artist anticipated. They actually celebrated the new guy. They did all these comics showing him in a positive light, other characters being very affectionate, welcoming towards him, just propping up, here's someone with human decency. Now, the unfortunate side effect is that they also tend to vilify the artist's purple-haired character.
Oh boy.
So nothing's ever like purely clean. I'm more for the memes that glorify the kindness and celebrate this character's empathy, not the ones that go on the attack against this other character that actually seems a little tragic in my eyes. This character is eager to take part in someone else's misfortune. Okay, let's all admit that we've had a Schadenfreude moment at some point in our lives against someone we don't like.
Oh,
So
yeah, everyone.
I consider that human nature. But then this person is also rejecting someone who's expressing empathy. You notice by the end of the comic, that character is very isolated, which I feel is tragic. If you reject one view, hopefully you find camaraderie with people of a like mind. But that character was operating alone. So, but all these memes have popped up in just the first few weeks of 2020, and it's very rare that I can say the internet is celebrating kindness.
Right? I was pretty surprised and actually really happy about it.
It's a good meme. I saw it. I remember seeing it on Twitter, but I actually didn't really comment into it just right now. Let me see. Let me put the comment into the chat so that way I can remember to put in a video.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let me see. let me see if I can find. Well, here, know your meme, new guy. That's a good way to start.
Yeah, I have right here.
Bueno. And
Let's see, save. Oops. That downloads desktop. There we go.
Oh, I just saw, because I googled the meme, and I saw a new guy meme defeats work hate.
Work hate.
Because I can relate in the sense of I work with people who have very different viewpoints than me. You know, subjectively, I feel like absolutely wrong, and in some senses they're factually wrong, but we still coexist. But I have seen other coworkers like be super spiteful and talk smack behind their back, and it's like, okay, like, why not just avoid talking about the situation? So I like the whole destroying work hate, because it is a real thing, and it's hard to coexist with coworkers that are just either spewing hate or, you know, think it's okay that someone they don't like has something bad happen to them.
Yeah, Silver, if you...
Like in this comic.
I like the comic, but Silver, can you post an image of it? Because every time I try to save the picture and save it to my computer, it comes back as a TIFF. And I'm like, I have no idea how that works.
Let's see, 2020 new guy comic. I will find this comic.
Okay, other than that, I do thank you for putting the article up there, so we can link it in the podcast later when we edit the video. Let's see. Anyone else want to say anything before I say my last picture of this meme? Because I have just one more thing to say about the meme.
Apparently, PewDiePie reacted to it.
Which meme? Oh, he did. Okay.
It's a fun fact. Just saw a thing that he reacted to it.
Okay.
What did he? I'm curious what he said.
Right, I am too.
While you're looking for that, here's what I want to say about the new guy. Not new guy. The World War 3 meme. I just know that it makes no sense now, but I'm just glad that I already served my country, so I won't be drafted again unless I really do that again. Not sure they can do that, but other than that, I'm already happy that I already served. I enjoyed my time in the army. I missed it. There's sometimes I wake up at night saying I wish I could go back, but the new guy meme, I actually feel nice that there are people in this world, even though it's a fictional person, who cares about empathy and how other people feels about other people's feelings. I just like that this meme is a fresh meme and it's good.
It's good.
Real good.
Well, I was about to read the article about
read
how
it.
he responded, and then my computer was like,
You crash.
he was just quick sick.
Oh, that sucks. Wait, you're on your phone then?
Yeah, I'm doing the call on my
Okay, that's
computer
good.
being a-hole.
I got you.
Okay, so here's what it says. Quote unquote, I really like the new guy meme's message, PewDiePie began, because I don't know anything about this person who wrote this webcomic, and I really highly don't want anyone to seek out this person or anything like that. I think it's more the point here is that to react in a way that is so, I don't want to boo-hoo me or whatever. I'm looking at this outside of my own context. But the fact that people who react in this way about something unjust happening to someone, to me, it is not normal. I feel like it's not normal behavior to react.
Wow.
So wow. It's not about the money, it's about the personal space, PewDiePie explained. And it's weird how no one understands that, and that's what New Guy is saying. It's like you wouldn't like it if it happened to you. Wow.
Amazing. He's actually mature about that.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got a picture thing to do, so bro. Let's see. Anyone have anything last to say about the meme before we go to the next question?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Next question. What do you think? What do you want to win this year? If in your favorite subject, like sports, movies, comics, games, or anything you feel that should be winning in this year?
I don't personally like watch sports, and I barely focus on movies outside of just watching them. Though I hope Vic Mignogna, the guy who voiced Broly in
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z, he did a bunch of other things. I hope he catches a break and is able to find work after he was falsely accused of things.
Yes.
Because hashtag I stand with.
That's nice. Yeah, he was. He did win a case. That's what I last heard about it.
Yeah, he won the case, but they were just like, no, we don't want to associate.
Which sucks.
It was just dumb. So to anyone who thinks false accusations don't ruin careers and people's lives,
It can.
fact check yourself because you're wrong.
You know, I made a joke about that. Not at his expense, but I made a joke that if he's really desperate for work, he can really find a job on the NitroSilverNigel channel as a voice actor.
Right? He should just go work with Team 4-Star.
If he can. I'm not sure if he could.
Oh, you're probably
If he could, he can. That'd be good.
legal reasons.
Yeah, but in real life, that'd be nice. But legal reasons, it may actually be bite him in the butt. But you know, if he needs work, he always can be hired on at the NitroSilverNigel channel as a voice actor. Anyone else? Abakan, you want to say anything?
About winning.
Yes.
I don't really have anything to win, or can win. So I'm more looking forward to getting like more experience in life and that. So for me, winning is starting to work and making new friends and such things. So I'm looking forward to winning new friends.
That's good. Good thing
That's
on
fair.
you, bro.
Yeah.
And for me, winning, I guess that's a weird word because I'm not really aware of competing against anyone except myself.
Yes.
And you have to do that every day. So you have to win against yourself.
Especially when you wake up in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Waking up is like, oh, this is really comfortable. I just want to lie here for another 5 minutes.
And you end up being
Okay, me, you win another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
On top of the other extra 5 minutes. But okay, something that I want. Here in America, we're 1 week away from the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I've noted a distinct lack of hype. I don't know if anyone says really. Okay, no one in my neck of the woods seems to be very invested in it. There's San Francisco, which I actually got to stay there for a year in my childhood, so I have fond memories. And Kansas City has been waiting decades for this opportunity. So I guess because they've been waiting longer, I would like if Kansas City could celebrate a win in the Super Bowl. But other than that, I hope the commercials win.
Yes, especially Marvels or Doritos or even Geico's.
See, I always like the Clydesdale commercials.
Oh yeah, I know those are cool too. They always do something new for for Super Bowl. I like the horses. I like the horses. They're nice.
Side question.
Yeah.
What's the Super Bowl again?
Oh, that is sort of the championship game of the American. Well, we call it football, but that's what most people call. But that's what. Oh dear, this is why words are hard. What we call soccer is football to most of America, to most of the world. But in America, our football you hold with your hands and you run and you tackle people, and it's not football because you're not using your feet. It's really dumb.
It's American football.
It's American football, but we need a better name for it, like weak rugby. Yes, I hereby doubt that we call football weaker rugby. So trying to explain this when football is what we call soccer is just confusing and cultures are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that a lot since I've been talking more to Americans and other people from other countries.
That's good, Abakan. It's always good to expand your horizons. You never know what you might learn by Well, for me, oh sorry, I'm drinking some water. But anyway, honestly, the one thing I want to win is honestly the weirdest thing everyone will say to me. Here's who I want to win this year. Because I can't think of any sports, I couldn't think of any cartoons or any shows or anything. The only thing I could think was companies. And the company I want to win this year is Disney. And not against Netflix, I want to win against Sony. Because we just got the Morbius trailer, and now I'm like, is it in the MCU? Is it its own thing? And I'm like, what's going on with Sony? What are they doing here? So right now, I'm like, at the point where, okay, this is what should happen. Either Sony make a new Spider-Man trilogy out of Miles Morales, or they just give Spider-Man Peter Parker a rest for a while so Marvel can do something with them.
I agree.
Yeah, because right now I'm so confused with this movie. Am I going to see it? Am I going to watch it? Am I going to support the MCU? Or am I going to support Sony on this? Because I understand Sony wants to make something with Spider-Man they have not been able to do for a while, and they got the MCU to help them. But if you're gonna steal the show right under the MCU to make your own franchise, something ain't right. Now they can do something with Miles as they did in Spider-Verse, and that was just a fantastic movie. So right now, I don't want Disney to win against Netflix. I want Disney to win against Sony.
Be sick.
Anyone have anything to say before we move to the next topic?
Nope.
Can't say to you.
Okay, next topic. Comic lore. What changes in comic field do you expect to happen next?
Like in the MLP comics or comics in general?
Comic in general.
Okay, that's what I thought. I hope that more freelancers are like given a chance and given light.
Hint, hint.
And are found. Yes. Hint, hint.
Sorry, that's a secret up between me and Zara. We can't really speak about it right now until when it happens, but you will be surprised when it happens.
Stuff in the works. Lots and lots.
Yep. Yeah, Abakan, anything you want to say?
So basically, for the whole topic, I don't really read comics. I never really read comics, so
okay.
I can't really take part in the question.
Okay, we just skip you for now, but we'll come back to the
I'm just gonna listen.
Okay, we come back to you next. We come back to you in the next topic when we get there. So Silver, that means that you're up next.
Alrighty. Well, my circle of comics has shrunk quite a bit, mostly due to a propensity for retcons, and I mean like our hard reboots.
Yes.
I mean, I still remember Sonic One More Day. I stopped reading Spider-Man, and it's not just the severely moral insult of Spider-Man making a deal with the devil, but this whole, well, I've been invested in this story and you just killed it. You just knifed it. Ergo, what reason have I to continue?
Stab through the heart.
And Marvel's to blame, darling. You give Spider-Man a bad name.
So for me, retcons aren't terrible because I have a garbage memory. So like, to an extent, retcon.
What do you say on the last part of that retcon?
I have a terrible memory,
Yes.
and so retcons are slightly useful to me because, you know, most of the time I forgot how it went down anyway. But I mean, I could see how people would definitely be upset or frustrated or not want their things to go on that bandwagon, but I feel it.
Well, I agree. There's an art to a retcon. If you're adding information to change the perception of a past event, that's one thing. Or you introduce that there was another force at work. But this was, okay, One More Day is an extreme retcon, where it's a hard destruction of all that's come before.
Is
this
that a Sonic one?
No, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man one.
But
Okay.
Sonic was a thing too, as I realized that all the conflicts that they were facing suddenly went up in a puff of smoke. And it's hard.
Actually, it gets Marvel, especially since Mega Man and Sonic crossover.
But within the comics I do read, My Little Pony, of course, there was a big problem that's been on the rise. and that is tracing or repurposing existing artwork for use in the comics. Oh yes, it's been
Really?
one particularly egregious comic featured Scootaloo and Rumble, but several images were very clearly vectors from the show, possibly used online. You grab from someone's online vectoring gallery. So
the images were taken from the show or taken from other artists?
that I'm not sure, but they were definitely, you could definitely tell it did not match the art style. Once again, I shall engage the intersearches as I try to find this. But here's the thingamabob, and this is important. It's not unique to us, to this fandom. I learned by watching a YouTuber called Eckhart's Ladder, who is a very big fan of science fiction ships and strategy. He talked about how Star Wars, many of the ships featured in their comics are traces of fan renderings, fan 3D models, fan even 3D printed ships. In one case, they didn't even remove the support pegs from the stands.
What the heck?
Wow, Jesus.
So there's a very real trend of artists, for whatever reason, tracing or repurposing online resources for use in the official comics, which is, how do I put, there, you could argue the morality on all manner of things. Well, all right, you're using someone else's work. Oh yeah, well they're just taking what was already produced by the show. How moral is that? So on and so forth. But here's my thing. I buy your comic because I want to see your artwork. I want to see how well you draw these characters. If you're using someone else's art, why should I give you my money to watch someone else's art? And that's a problem. And I ask, why is this practice taking place? It's clearly more than just My Little Pony, and probably more than Star Wars. There are accusations against Marvel Comics and probably DC
And
for
Image.
tracing. I heard one Marvel artist uses pornography to draw his characters,
What the heck?
which makes that very, very weird. Here is a scan of one particularly egregious comic. If you look at the bottom left panel and the bottom right, Rumble is a modified vector where they left out the ears,
Oh my goodness. I can't see it.
and Rainbow Dash in that last panel is clearly the show style art, whereas the rest of the elements are the
clearly.
So much graphic. I can't even take it. My eyes hurt.
It's
So-
like so painfully different than the rest of it.
So I got to ask, why is this trend happening, and is it a deeper problem in the comic industry? Are the artists overworked and therefore they're taking shortcuts? Are they not incentivized to produce art?
Well, here that's first of all, in the first panel, that Rainbow Dash is from the show as well. First of all,
That it is. Oh,
yeah. Second of all, when people bring up are they taking shortcuts? They're like, I don't think it would be a shortcut. You would have to dig through so many files to find one that works exactly the way you need it to, and I feel like it would be
More
not easier and faster to just do it yourself.
Maybe it's
What
a
do I know?
perspective. Let me try a perspective that no one thought of. Maybe it's not them who's doing it, but maybe the company's making them do it.
that is a possibility, but I'm not sure what the
Like,
logic would be
why?
behind it.
Yeah, like why? What is the game?
Well, I can't think of one, but the only thing I can think of is they need more money to do it. I mean, less money to do work.
All right, so I need pictures of ponies, but they can't be your pictures. I need you to find them online.
Right? Like, wouldn't it just be too much trouble if they got caught in like legal issues and such? Like, wouldn't it just make sense to just not do that?
Yeah, it would make sense, but some people can't get rid of that. Okay, anyone else want to say anything before I go to my part of the thing?
Nah,
Nope,
go
just
for
that
it.
I'd like to see comics address this issue and perhaps find out what are some of the causes behind it so they can be addressed.
Okay, here's my thing to say. We just had a flash forward issue of the death of Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Now, if you can do what I want is more amazing Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales stories. Because when I first read him in Ultimate Comics, he was like interesting take on the Spider-Man mythos, and was like, you know what, this actually works. It's not a retcon. I mean, technically it is a retcon because they killed out Peter Parker, but they brought back someone who can do something they did something you never thought could be expected. And that's what I like about the comic book industries. They always try to strive to do something else new that they had never expected. Like, that's why I want to make a comic book company once I finish my novel, and be like, yo, what? I'm making my own comic company, let's do this. But other than that, I just feel that more stories with interesting characters should be on the forefront. It shouldn't just be all to just make money. It should be more to make more stories, to make more interesting characters. That's why I like Image Comics more than DC and Marvel, because Image care for the creators at start, where Marvel and DC care more about their characters. If you can make something, if there was a comic company that can make character created content actually good and keep the creators also happy, then I would support the company in immediate. I will stop reading comics until I read their comics all day. I came close to manga, but that's what I mean.
When will companies understand that even if it takes a bit to put stuff out, everyone would much rather have quality content where everyone's happy, creators were credited, everyone was credited, nothing was stolen, everything was pure, and everyone has a great time.
I would love a world like that.
I don't understand why everyone wants to steal from each other. Like,
it's called capitalism.
No one wins.
You
More
know,
people are gonna watch something that's original and not stolen, rather than content that's literally all just stolen. But then there's Dragon Ball Z pages on Facebook that have proven me wrong.
Yeah.
What a way.
It sucks. Okay, next question. Unless anyone wants to say anything else. Okay, I think that sounds enough. Okay, how do you feel about comics becoming more mainstream, yet not something much they used to?
Well, I personally, I had no idea they were becoming more mainstream.
Look at
So
MCU.
I'm not really. It's true. So I'm really happy to hear it. Though they might not be selling as many comics that they want because of the internet, and people like to torrent things, and a lot of places will post comics online for free. So it's hard to get the money flow from going, but I'm happy that comics.
I can understand with that. That's why I don't read online manga sites anymore. When I heard about the manga companies are going out of business because of that, I kind of started going back and buying manga officially. That's where I got the whole Hellsing. I got a lot of I got a lot of manga series I got to read up on. Now I'll buy a series in bulk.
The struggle, though, in which I understand both sides, is that on one hand, it's like, yeah, we'll sell more manga and comics if we do it physically, and then part of me is like, okay, but the earth is much rather read something online than go buy a 3-pound page book thing that I'm gonna read once and shove in a closet.
Yep.
At least that's me. So that's my internal struggle with physical copies versus the internet.
Well, I do. You can always just buy comics off a Honda bundle or something like that for you one digital. Silver?
Let's see. Well, wait. What about Abakan?
Oh, remember he said he doesn't read comics, so we gotta skip him for the topic.
Okay. Mainstream. I don't subscribe to hipster mentality. Oh, it's mainstream. It's not good anymore. I guess the growing criticism I've seen is that comics are starting to abandon the fantastic for the sake of being more modern and contextualized. And there's a good part in that because you can discuss issues. You can give people sort of a framework to look at an issue. One thing that got a great deal of attention was an old comic called Superman Battles the KKK.
Oh.
And there's tremendous history behind that because this was the original author secretly went to KKK meetings and learned their terminology and passphrases. And through this story, which was at first a radio drama, now it's a comic,
yes,
he revealed their secrets to America. And in doing so, demystified the Klan. And in essence, weakened their hold on society. He did a lot to combat them using a story. And so when people dismiss stories as pure frivolity or escapism, no, I do not agree. I believe they can have a tremendous impact, regardless of the form they take. Whether that impact be positive or negative is a whole other discussion. Mm-hmm. So, I got no problem with them becoming more mainstream. But there's also a danger in contextualizing because then the comic is only memorable in that context. It is limited to that time frame. It could be very relevant. A great many of the memorable comics that inspire future comic artists and writers are fantastic and maybe a little bit absurd. And I don't think that's anything to fear. Let's see here. I mean, think about some of the most iconic comic covers. There's the Crisis, in Crisis, where Superman is holding the fallen Supergirl.
That made me cry.
Wolverine has had any number of comics.
Oh, it's a classic one with his claws and him saying, "Come here."
Yep. Or then there was an X-Men comic. What should want to say something? That's been homaged or parodied many times. And then there's the classic Spider-Man scene, which was repurposed in Spider-Man Homecoming. He is pinned beneath this immense machine, and he has a cure that will save his Aunt May's life. And it takes every ounce of his strength and willpower to free himself. Yeah, which again made its way into Spider-Man Homecoming, where it's that "Come on, Spider-Man" scene.
I remember that scene. That made me hyped.
Those scenes are in some ways absurd because you have just dumped a ridiculous-looking machine or a building on someone. And yet we cheer for them because it is based very heavily in the human will to accomplish more than we think we can. That is timeless. And so explore modern context, but never lose the timeless humanity. That is what a comic can accomplish.
Well, for me, there's only one thing to say for comics. I think it makes little. I don't think that main comic companies they're making more drastic things with their stories to make ends meet with their bills. When I was born, before I was born, I remember my dad telling me comic companies were making single issue comics and they was just sometimes they have overarching plots. But now that I'm growing up with comics, I see that all I see is overarching plot from comic issue to comic issue. That you can get lost in if you're just a first-time viewer. You can't just jump in anywhere in the story and make sense of where you are. Now you gotta buy the monthly to get the full story. And I feel the comic companies, if they can just go back to the single issues where you can just read one issue and be okay with that single contained story, that would be good. But this was a transition from the 60s all the way up to the 80s when they started doing these more overarching plots with the stories, where each comic issue actually tied in with continuity. And I love that, but sometimes you get lost in all that continuity before you can find out where you're supposed to be at. And that just makes comics kind of hard to get into now. That's why when I told my little cousin about getting him the not Ultimate Marvel, what was his character now? Oh, Iron Man comics. He's a big Iron Man fan for watching him in the MCU. He was like, no, I just watch the movies. And y'all like, wait, why? And the reason why he says that, because he can't say, I don't want to spend time reading comics for stories that makes no sense. And that made me feel sad.
Hey.
Well, I got something that'll make you sadder. You use continuity twice. You owe me.
Oh, man!
Ooh.
Dang it! Well, yeah, I feel that comics should be moving back to the older days so that way people can get into more of them and understand what's going on. But I didn't say not every comic should do that though. Like for some comics, where you at is where you're good at. Like Miles' story, Iron Man's story, even for some reason Black Panther's story makes sense with that. But other characters are better if they do the single issue stories, like the Fantastic Four, maybe even I would say even Peter Parker Spider-Man. But some characters are better with this modern setting, but some characters need the old setting to make sense of. Especially the older, newer characters. Okay, so next question, unless anyone wants to say anything.
Nope.
Okay, next
No,
question.
you're good.
What is your first or favorite comic book that you remember reading?
Oh man, my first comic I think I ever like that was mine, not just like, oh here kid, take a comic. My first one was Sonic 1.
Ooh.
Many years ago, and it was at my first Rose City Comic Con. And from then forward, I fell in love. So I was like, yep, I want to make comics. Because this is great, and I love it. I want more of it, always. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have my first bunch of Sonic comics in a closet.
That's good. Always good to keep comics. You can always sell them out, keep them for your children.
Right?
Yeah. I used to keep them for my children. I don't have children right now, but you know what I mean. Silver?
I can't remember my very first comic because every now and again, my family will be cleaning out something and there'll be like this really old comic that I didn't even remember getting. But the first series that I really became invested in was the Archie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. We're talking like pretty much concurrent with the show itself.
Really?
At first, it was just taking episodes from the show and presenting them in comic form. And yet, they branched off from that and developed their own style, their own timeline, their own stories. Obviously not the first Ninja Turtles comic, but one that did a lot. And in time actually got a little darker or more serious than the cartoon.
And what series this was based off? Was it based off the 80s or the 2005 series?
We're talking 80s.
Oh, so the classic series. Oh yeah, I remember that.
The series everyone makes fun of, but no one would be here without it.
Yeah, in the movies too. The original trilogy, not the new ones. Okay, well, here's what this guy's gonna make you a little jealous, Sam. Okay, here's what my answer was. My favorite comic book I remember reading was one my dad first got me. It was an issue right before Cosmic Spider-Man reveal. I forgot the issue's number, but I do remember it was an issue where Spider-Man found out he could fly, and my dad was excited about it when he first got him when he was a teenager. And he got in the 80s, so he was younger than me. So, but I remember when I was a kid, he gave it to me and let me read it. That was the first comic I read. But the first comic I ever owned was DC, which was the first issue of the Batman Hush series before Hush was revealed. It was the issue where Catwoman fights against Batman to get I forgot what, get some money from Bane, not from Bane, but she was getting some money to give to Poison Ivy. And that was my first issue I ever owned, because it got in my first Batman toy my dad bought me. And it was kind of jealous. My dad was kind of jealous of it. My dad, he said he didn't like DC as much, but he likes Marvel more. He was a big time Marvel collector. But that was my first issue I actually owned myself, but I don't have anymore because I let my dad hold it. And for some reason there was a fire in his house, and and that's what happened. But that was one of my first comics I remember reading as a kid. But I still will buy. I do have the Batman Hush collection series for myself, and that's what I like about that. Because, I do remember the Cosmic Spider-Man, and I was like, you know what? Spider-Man, in this sense, is cool. I never thought I would read that, but I remember reading that comic where he was fighting against the Vulture, and he was like, Vulture, I can fly now. No longer do I need webs. But he's still fighting webs. And it's an amazing story I remember reading that day. And I was like, you know what? Comics are timeless when they are made right.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay. Now for the final, now to the next topic, video games. And hopefully Abakan can join us. First question
Yeah,
is
okay.
this: what game are you looking forward to this year?
I really want to get my hands on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Oh, okay.
Looks sick. Um, the new DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield
Yes.
months. And I think I heard word on a new Odd World.
Wait, really?
And yeah,
Oh my goodness, I love a new Oddworld game.
he's right. There was a PS4 make that came out that I got to play that was really cool. I forgot to re-download it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that they're making like a full game.
Is it anything like Trader's Rap?
I think so.
That'd be cool. I love Trader's Rap.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those.
Abakan?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think a new Dying Light is coming out. Now I think it's from the Dead Island developers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably gonna come out, and I'm gonna get that, and Doom Eternal probably as well.
Ooh.
Some nice demon hunting.
Now, time to kick some tail. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Silver?
Well, you took mine because I am eagerly anticipating Doom Eternal. This is the duality within me. I love to talk about a show about pastel ponies and friendship, but in my free time, I'm like shotgun to the face. Demon there, shotgun to him. Pause for shipping joke, and resume shotgunning. Because I find it so enjoyable and addicting to just run around and blow stuff up. And glory kills, and I've been watching some of the people with the early access plays. It's like, oh yes, I do want. But this ties back though to what Zara said earlier about take time to create something of quality. Doom Eternal got pushed back. It should have been out in like December, I think.
Yes.
Or was it October?
No,
That far
December.
But either way, they delayed the release because they wanted to create a quality product. And while I have moments of impatience, I'm glad that they have that commitment to quality.
Right? When things get like pushed back, I get real excited because I'm like, oh my god, if they're like, oh, hold on guys, we messed up, we gotta take a little longer to make this work out. It makes me so happy. Like the Sonic movie is a fantastic example of that.
Yes. It comes out next month, right?
But yes, and oh my god, I am so excited.
Did they redesign like Sonic or?
They did.
And they made him a lot less terrifying.
They made it more cartoony, which I like.
Well, I heard that the artist who redesigned it got fired.
What? Ah.
They done
Once-
goofed up, Troop Man.
I don't know if it's right.
I hope not, because it's a dumb decision.
They're like shooting him in the foot.
owns-
Depending on the reason why he got fired. It's
Yeah.
like he was fired because he was an a-hole or something.
Or shot someone.
Yeah.
I think you would have heard about that if he shot someone.
No, with like needle, not like a real gun, like a needle, like gave someone injection or something else. Okay, my turn. Yes. Silver, I gotta agree with you because I hate when my games get delayed, but I like it when they get back with me with some good content. And that game right here will be Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Finally, I can play the Final Fantasy VII game I always wanted to play. With Final Fantasy 15 tactics, 15 graphics, and Final Fantasy 15 gameplay. And then instead of waiting for turn-based, which sucks. I can't do turn-based games. Don't make me do it. I can't do it, Captain. But I'm also looking forward to Last of Us Part 2. I'm so hyped that I can scream however I want because I might break my mic.
Good plan.
Anyone else want to say anything before we go to the next question?
We're all set.
Okay, next question. What game are you playing right now? I mean, not at this moment, but, you know.
Yeah. I'm playing Pokemon Sword, The Binding of Isaac, and Don't Starve.
Ooh, good choices.
Ooh. I can't play most games because of my motion sickness.
Oh, that sucks.
I can barely do Minecraft. I gotta turn the sensitivity way down.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, nah.
Abakan?
So yeah, I currently mostly play Arma 3 and Escape from Tarkov, and also a little bit of Squad at the moment. So mostly tactical shooters and a few racing games at the moment.
And I am mostly, well, I haven't gotten to play a lot games very much in the past several weeks, but I did finish Jedi Knight Fallen Order.
Ooh.
Which, to be honest, it's a fun game, but I found the ending pretty lackluster.
Don't spoil it, but okay.
I won't spoil, but I will at least say I found it kind of lackluster.
Okay.
But the gameplay itself is worth it.
Okay.
And then I have a steady diet of Destiny 2 and maybe a little bit of Dauntless and a smattering of Overwatch.
Ooh, good choices.
Which will all be blown away when Doom Eternal comes out.
Ooh. Well, for me, I'm playing it's kind of weird, but I'm playing the first 2 Bayonetta games again on the Switch. I'm waiting for the third one, because I don't know when that third one's going to be coming out. They kind of hyped that game up a little longer, so I forgot when else for game for it to come out. But I'm playing on the Switch, which is like a little bit better, because I already have the game on the Wii U and on PC. Well, that's the second game on PC, but I was going to buy it, but I bought it for the Wii U. It was a good game. Now I got it for the Switch, playing it again. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to get platinum ranking on this game this time. Not going to give up until I do it. But it's a fun game. Like the shooting action. And Infernal Climax! But anyway, I'm waiting for the third game, so Platinum Games, please hit me up with a free copy or something. I don't care. You beat the statue, I'll take it. Next question. Are you a next-gen console kind of guy, PC? What is your pick of the litter?
Consoles are definitely my favorite. I stand with PlayStation, personally, because grew up on it, and I've always owned some version of it. And same with Nintendo. I've owned almost every console that Nintendo has released.
That's nice.
I love Nintendo. It's good for people who want to play video games and aren't competitive, or at least not as competitive.
Yes. Hype me up for some Mario Kart.
Bruh, I will beat you. High key, though.
Oh, okay, I see how it is.
High key.
So yeah, I'm a PC guy. I never really had a console, never bought one, and yeah, just PC. I think it's more usable and it has a few more things to it that it can do more than a console. But I also think that consoles can be very nice for just laying on the couch or playing on your TV and just relaxing like that. Because PC is just always you can build it like it's a console, but mainly you just sit in front of your desk and then play.
And I have also been a console guy most of my life. Started with the original Nintendo and just kept going. The Wii lost me, so I haven't gotten a Nintendo system. But
Silver? I didn't hear the last part of that.
I haven't bought a Nintendo console since the Wii, which I felt was something of a deception.
Okay.
But I still buy PlayStation and Xbox consoles, though really PlayStation holds the majority of my library now. But we're at a point now where consoles are constantly receiving updates, which take sometimes several hours.
Oh yes.
And I guess which makes them not that different from. Well, I may eventually invest in a PC for gaming, just because there's not, at this point, why not go with something with enhanced control performance and graphics if I've still got to contend with updates? The big turnoff for me with PC was that I'd always have to
update, upgrade,
or usually my family's computers were not designed for gaming, and therefore they were not. I mean, it took forever just to get sound. You know, I played the original X-Wing flight simulator / Starfighter, and for the longest time we couldn't figure out how to make the characters have vocal lines. A friend of the family had to come over and install that for us.
Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so meanwhile, you get a Super Nintendo game, you plug it in, you turn it on, it does what it's supposed to do. And if you're really bad at it, you can throw the case across the room and still plug it back in.
I remember those days. That dropped my N64 like so many times.
Those things were bricks. Now you touch a PS4 wrong and it has an error.
Yeah. What sucks?
I
Okay.
don't understand why we stopped making things sturdy. And we're just like, nah, it needs to be glass.
Can you imagine that? The PS5 is made out of pure glass.
Okay, but like low-key though, it'd be really cool.
Yeah. It's a big chunk of glass that's all black or so.
It would look sick, but it would be dumb.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bring everyone's happiness with this. Silver Quill, you might want to hit me up with a sound effect, but I'm gonna say it this way: I don't give a care of what game I play my console on. I don't care how I play the game as long as I'm playing it. Thank you. Cause I play on console, I play on PC. I'll buy games multiple times on different consoles just to get the best experience out of it. I have done this with many games.
Skyrim.
I've done this many times with some games. I got Minecraft on my PS4, my PS3,
Okay.
my Vita, my 3DS, my Xbox 360, and my Xbox One. I even got it on the PC twice. I have it on my Switch now. I will tell you this: I will buy games multiple times if each console does it better than the previous console, and that's why I don't care what system I play my games on. I'll play a game if it's better on this system or not. I'll play a game on that system. I have played so many games that I can put myself in debt if I wanted to with games.
I will put myself in debt.
Yeah, that's how much I care about my games. I'll play. I got Spider-Man PS4 twice on the PS4 and PS4 Pro. And it's not even my PS4 Pro.
Bruh. Going ham.
Yeah, so
Chill, my dude.
I just don't. The only thing I hate about console is upgraded console thing. Yeah, I usually buy it when it first comes out and keep it. I don't update to the new half-gen console. Like that's why I didn't buy the PS4 Pro or the PS4 Plus or whatever it's now called.
Yeah.
I kept my original Xbox One. I don't have the Xbox One S or the One X, even though I want the One X because it has more processing power. But I keep my original Xbox One because I got that thing for only $200. And that was when I was buying every console at only $1,000. Cost me a pretty penny for those next-gen consoles. I'm not getting rid of them anytime soon, unless they blow up, which has happened before. Okay, guys, now we ended all the questions. Now we get to the discussion. The first question is this: how do you feel about the NMLP ending, and how did it change you?
I mean, I'm sad it ended. Like, I feel like they could have gone for so much longer and done so much more because the community was so
Strong,
creative. Like, besides it being so strong and, you know, connected, like, they were so creative. There were so many music people, there were so many art people, like, I mean, they had guests, like, voice actors, like Weird Al and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would have been sick to have, like, some other, like, YouTube commentators, like you, Silver Quill. Like, that would have been sick if they got, like, some of the big boy commentators on the show for, like, just an episode. Just, like...
side character, not a official character, but a
yeah,
side
either
character.
side character in the background, just like a nod to like, hey, we see you guys are super creative.
They did
and
it
we
with
love
Derpy
you
before.
guys.
They did it with Derpy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Given my luck,
Yes.
I would have been part of the 200th episode. And been part
Right,
of the.
like I wanted them to like do more with the fan base since it was so vast, so talented, and so
bombastic.
big. It really is. Like, it's so big and vast. Like, I was really hoping that they would do something.
Well, can I go if no one's want to go next? Because this is out of order for discussions. We can go in the order you want to. But for
Do
me,
it.
okay. For me, I've been watching the show for like 9 odd years. Many things will like change. I went through puberty, I went through the army, I went through high school, and I went through exes, a lot of ex-girlfriends. But this show helped me cope and deal with those changes. If I still wish it had ended, but I'm also happy that it ended when it did. I don't want MLP to grow stale with content. I'm also glad that I can share this complete show with others now. However, I would be honored if they would have made season 10 like a movie instead of making the comics. That would have made me happy if they would have ended the show with a movie.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah. Saying like, oh, coming to the theaters near you is season 10 of MLP, the final hours. I would have killed people to watch that.
Bruh, that movie would have been sold out so fast.
Yeah.
Although if you killed someone, you would not get to see the movie because you would be in jail.
Yeah.
Unless you got away with it, not with that attitude.
Yeah, Brick, you might want to lay low for a while, and because you're wanted for murder.
Hey, at least you're wanted.
That
You gotta start
escalated
somewhere.
quickly.
Yeah, let's not talk about murder anymore. Anyone else want to go?
Unless we're talking about Doom. I'm getting my mileage out of that sound effect.
Good.
But I am okay with it ending when it did. My Little Pony helped me tap into a creative energy I hadn't gotten to feel in a long time.
Yes.
And it was there through some dark times, but I will also say that being a part of this fandom has had an emotional demand. It's hurt at times.
Yes.
So anything worth having is going to be a mixture of joy and pain. So, and the end of the show is not the end of creativity, which again is what drew me to the fandom in the first place.
Same though, like full on. I agree.
Abakan, you want to say anything?
Yeah, to be honest, I never watched the ending of the show.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually never watched it.
Tell me this. I'm sorry.
I never actually watched the last 2 seasons of it.
Oh.
I don't know why. I don't really feel that interested in the series anymore. After a few things that happened back last year, and now I'm just doing other things, and mostly I don't even have the time to look at the series because I have to do a lot of work.
That's fair.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry about that, bro. One day you might be able to see it. One day.
Yeah, one day maybe. I don't know.
I did start kind of losing interest when they brought the young six in. I was like, when they did that, like it was good and bad to me. Like it was bad because I was like, I didn't want this, but it was good because I thought, oh, this is the next gen. They're gonna go for another 8 seasons, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you like set all of this up to be a continuation, and you didn't do it.
You done goof troop on its roof.
Yeah, so I was a little disappointed about like it ending. I was like, really though? Like you could have kept going.
Yeah, it sucks.
I think they stopped doing it because Hasbro just doesn't want to do more work on that series, or it doesn't make enough money for them.
You're talking about paying a lot of money for those comics. I will keep on paying.
Well, if it would make enough money, they would still making new seasons.
Yeah, fair. Or maybe they just get tired of the same thing over and over again.
Possible too.
Then hire new people. I don't know.
Probably for them, it's a waste of money to put even more work into that when they have new things that makes a lot of more money.
Yeah, look at.
But then, like that's kind of like what I was saying though. Like if they brought in like guest animators, guest songwriters,
like Jan Animations.
Yeah, like bring people in, keep it going.
But
I do agree with Nitro though, or whoever said it when I think it was you, where you're like, oh, I think it ended. It was good when it ended because you didn't want it to go stale.
That was me.
I do agree with that because that is always sad because you think you want something and then when it goes stale, you're like, wow, I wish it had stopped here. So we could have always enjoyed it in its golden era and not when it went stale.
Like The
That's
Simpsons.
kind of-
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, or
Simpsons.
like
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Or Family
Pokemon
Guy.
definitely did that. Yeah, Family Guy did. So it is
Sometimes
kind of
they're-
good when something kind of leaves, but it's not always sad because it's better to see it leave in its prime than wear itself out.
Anyone else want to say anything before we move to the next discussion? Okay, I think that's all I have to know.
All good.
Okay, next discussion. Do you believe college is necessary for success in life?
I mean, it's a touchy subject because usually people are like, heck yes or heck no.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, as the world changes, I think college becomes more and more not necessary. I think it's more for. I think people should stop going to college unless they're going for something specific.
Like being a doctor?
Like, yeah, like unless you're doing something, like why are you going to college? You're just putting yourself in debt and you're still just gonna work at Starbucks just like the high school dropout, you know? Like unless you're going for something specific, I feel like college is not mandatory
You guys,
for success.
you guys have to pay for
Yes.
college?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
have to pay
don't.
for it here.
Lucky?
We have to pay like 150 euros for 1 year,
What the
and
frig?
that's it. Yeah, it's Germany. We get a lot of money from the state.
Jesus.
See, people.
Well, I wish America did that instead of putting it towards.
Yeah. Because I would have went to college
That's
3
neither
times by
here
now.
nor there.
Silver, you want to say anything before I go?
I went to college, and it was a whole slew of new experiences that helped me grow as a person. I can't say that it was. No one has ever hired me based on, oh, you went to this college? Well. So, if anything, I feel like college is now being treated as a minimum requirement, whereas once upon a time it was something truly exceptional. You went to university and you became a much more educated person than the common person.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say that it's necessary for success, but if you don't go, you need a alternate plan, a trade school, working with a company and learning from within. You need a plan, otherwise you're just adrift.
Like
That's
without a
what I
boat
did.
or a paddle.
Exactly.
Well, I would like to go now. Well, in my case, I had to say college actually.
You
That
don't get
I
to
don't. There's moments where I'm in college right now, and some of my YouTube viewers will know that it's hard to make videos while you're in college. Like I don't know how some people can do it, but for me, I do college so I can market myself as a writer. Even though I'm not going to school to be a writer, because talent is so much better than me. I'm going in to be computer literate, so that way when I get my book published, I know how to contact people using computers. I don't want to be computer illiterate to anyone younger than me or older than me. I want to be known as the computer guy to people who know me, or either younger or older than me. But also want to finish writing my novel series. So there's that. But I do see that sometimes, in some cases, having a college degree helps you. In some cases, it doesn't. Like Zara said, if you go to college and you come out and just end up working in Starbucks, having a degree just puts you in debt or something.
Mhm.
But also, like Silver Quill, yeah, if you go to college, you actually get new life experiences when you come into that situation. Like for me, I have friends who support me in ways I never supported myself when I was in high school. And I know high school is considered to be the bane of existence for most students, but college actually helps you out a bit because some teachers will care for you and help you and do whatever it takes to make sure you pass with a degree or at least some certifications. And that's how I feel about college. It could be helpful for some people, but I'm not saying for everyone. And that's how I feel.
Feel it.
Yeah, you gotta feel that power. Next discussion question, or did anyone else want to say anything before we move on? Okay, I take that.
I
No.
guess we'll move on.
We'll move on.
Okay, computers. Where can we go from here? Ooh, can I go first?
Of
Yep.
course.
Absolutely.
Yes! I've been thinking. Wait, hold on. I'm going to say it like I remember that for saying it. I've been thinking, I've been dreaming, I've been waiting for Skynet to never rise. This is how I feel. People are afraid of AI, and I'm afraid of AI because it has potential to do some good, but also has potential to do some bad because, sentient life. But here's my idea. Since so many people are so adamant and on not creating AI, I think computers are only going to get smarter to the point where AI can't happen, but computers be smart enough to where you think it's AI.
Ooh.
Mystical mystery in computers.
Ooh.
As well, I think computers are going to be so widespread, the speeds will be so fast, you can stream a movie in a span of load time of 3 seconds on the slowest internet connection. Take that, Comcast!
Yes. Dude, Brig Comcast.
I hate Comcast, and I'm stuck with them. So,
At least you have
No.
somewhat of internet.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that computers are going to get so smart to the point where people are going to be like, okay, if computers are this smart and this fast, where can we go from here? And who knows, maybe we get biocomputers. Computers made from people's blood, or computers in your body, or even, nanotech.
Biometrics.
Yeah, like that.
Well, you already wear computers on our bodies.
Yes, phones, computers, watches, laptops, tablets, and I don't know, anything else.
They are everywhere in our lives at any point.
Even
And
when we go
they're
to
not-
sleep.
Yeah, they're not gonna go away that quickly.
No,
I think it's probably one of the biggest inventions the humans created, and it probably was not even that good for the humans that they created the internet and the computer.
My personal take on it is I think we've gone as far as we need. I feel as though until the tech we have can work seamlessly and properly and is as accessible to everyone, then we can move forward. But humans have always wanted to run a marathon before they could walk.
Yeah.
And I feel like as society and as human beings, we just need to
Slow down for
take a,
once.
take a deep breath and look around you, see what you got going on right now, and try to better that instead of everyone trying to make the next big thing. What's next? What's next? It's just okay. We have a lot of stuff that I'm still learning that has existed for years now, and I had no idea it even existed. And we all just need to
Yeah, the
calm
thing is,
down,
but
have
that
things work properly and efficiently and for everyone, or we keep trying to go bigger and bigger and bigger, or else everything's just gonna crash.
Okay.
Now, for me, computers, the big concern is that we are facing an economic shift with computers. They are starting to be able to overtake a lot of jobs that used to belong to people, and we continue to push to see how far automation can go, let alone what now, as you say, a computer that seems so smart it might as well be AI, or it understands tasks enough. I think it's very real that there'll be an economic crisis in the near future where a lot of the workforce is displaced and has no fallback.
I think it's a decently close future.
Yeah, like 5
reality
years from
that-
now.
Yeah, I could see a shift definitely taking place decently soon.
Right
I
now,
give it 10 years.
I can see, right now, I can imagine a company built on a computer, and the computer owns a company, and there's no legal way you can stop that.
Yeah.
So the question is, when people become redundant to a task, what do they do?
Get rid of it.
No, the task can't be done away with. It's still got to happen. But
Well, the companies are just gonna go for what's cheaper and more productive, which is computers.
So that displaces a lot of people. That means that there's more people in a job market, which makes it harder for people to find a job. Ergo, I guess in the midst of technological advances, I'm not sure we've made the space for what this accomplishment means. If
What?
we're going to take...
Who knows? This could lead to a new era of
Prosperity.
weirdly going back to our roots. Like, look at like streamers and stuff like that. It's becoming more and more prominent of people, instead of having a job, making money in other means, with like making their own personal content and having others support them. Maybe after a while, we'll have that economic change and it'll stop, but people will start perhaps having their own things going on, doing things by themselves, so we'll become less dependent on jobs. So maybe it might be a good thing that computers take, but there's really no way to.
You know what creeps me out about that sentence right there, Zara? The fact that we already got streamers who are actually AI. It kind of creeps me out about that.
I don't know of a streamer who's an AI.
There's Kazuni AI. There's this Gone Girl, I forgot her name was, and they're mostly just Japanese AI. But I can link if I can't. Let me see if I can find one.
Well, it's not. I'm afraid I'm running low on time.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, the podcast is almost over anyway.
Yeah.
So it's. I hope we can find that balance. A part of me is also concerned that if our reaction to the automation of work is now to retreat more into the online world and less amongst people, that too I think can be a very dangerous scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous scenario.
Well, do you want to say anything before we end the podcast?
Someone say something funny so we don't leave with like despair of the future in the podcast.
Wait. Well, we can leave on a happy note. What would you
someone
name?
say something.
Here's a good question you should say. What would you name your firstborn child if you had one right now?
Well, I hate children, so that's a no-go for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to say without talking with my partner.
That's a good answer.
Maybe we would agree on shipping joke.
Okay, that's it. Let's leave it on that note then.
I'll leave on that. That's a good end.
So thank you for joining us on this podcast, everyone. Hope you have good luck in your endeavors and everyone enjoyed the videos you're watching. Now as we leave this video, I hope that you, the favorite viewer, had a good time watching. Now everyone, let's say the catchphrase YouTube channel and let's say the words we all don't love. Remember to smile. Everyone say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember to smile. We never get on time.
Lag.
Pretty good.
Everyone say bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leaving Silver Quill, give us a fireworks sound effect so we can leave on that.
Yeah.
I don't have a fire effect sound effect, but I can give audience applause.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Everyone have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.